What's happening, family? It's Cat Sports again. Back for another afternoon with my people. Welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the History Channel. This is the Friday afternoon edition. We got another fight card coming in tomorrow, two of them. As a matter of fact, Mike Masick, salute. Mike Masick in the building. Welcome aboard, Mike. Good to see you again on this Friday afternoon. We're going to talk about the history of sanctioning bodies in boxing today. In a little while, there's Miss Cass, hashtag JBT. How are you, Miss Cass? Hashtag JBT. Just boxing talk. That's all. Just a fire community of people that love to talk boxing. Okay. Now we got two fight cards tomorrow, and I want to talk about those briefly in a little while. How's everybody this afternoon? It's Friday. I know they was talking about in the hangout this morning about how fast this week went by. It flew by, didn't it? Wow. It was a blur. You know, I can't even believe I did 5 shows, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I believe the weigh-ins is today for the two cards tomorrow. Got Conor Ben getting back in the ring. First time in Las Vegas. You know, he failed those 2 drug tests in the UK, so they ran him up out of there. Couldn't get him to come out of there one time. We didn't have no choice. Going up against Peter Dawson. We're going to talk about that. And a history of the sanctioning bodies in boxing. That's the subject for today on Cat Sports, the History Channel. Hope everybody's Friday afternoon is rolling along nicely. And spend this couple hours with me. Hopefully that can make your day just a little bit better. Pick up some boxing knowledge along the way. Because, of course, we all love to see the two people in the ring mixing it up, throwing hands, and, you know, having the boxing match. But that's just a part of it. You know, I try to enlighten you on all the other aspects of our sport, you know. And today is going to be the sanctioning bodies, who play a huge part in it. Of course, half the time they don't go by their own rules. Thomas Hill, there's the mayor of YouTube. Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT in the building. Salute, Thomas Hill. Welcome to another episode of Cat Sports, the History Channel, the Friday afternoon edition. Can't believe it's Friday, though. Seems more like Wednesday or something. This time is flying by. But you know what it is. There's so much to do in life nowadays, you know. We got social media, and just every minute of your day is just taken up. That's what makes time go by so fast. You know, back in the old days, it was slow. We didn't have cell phones and all that kind of stuff. You know, if you weren't home, then a person just couldn't get in touch with you. I kind of like that better, you know. I mean, nowadays you can say, how come you didn't answer the phone? Because you got your phone right there with you every second. Back in the old days, just say, I wasn't home. You could be sitting right at home. and not answer the phone. You just tell them I wasn't home. Can't use that excuse nowadays. You know, I wish it would slow down some. There's too much going on. Always something. But we're going to get into these sanctioning bodies, the history of them, few scandals and controversies surrounding them. Yet IBF had a big one. Godfather mixed up in it, telling on people and stuff. But the Godfather's still rolling. Those people in the IBF, they went to prison. They out of boxing. But the Godfather is still rolling. You know, still going strong. Still got one of the major promotional companies. And we're going to talk about them soon too. Not today, but I'm going to break down all the promotional companies too. Trying to get this show together for next week, where I'm going to go through every step of making a boxing match, from the moment they start talking, the talks, the negotiations, all the way up to the moment they step in the ring. And Senior from the Rise podcast said he might want to be a part of that show, so don't miss that. That's going to be very interesting. One day next week, hopefully. Yeah, I'm going to be working on that this weekend, breaking it down and everything. Yeah, every step of making a boxing match. You know, from when the talks start, through the negotiations, the sparring, the getting the venue and all that, all the way down to the ticket sales, all the way up to when they step in there and mix it up. That's next week. Don't miss it. What's up, Thomas Hill? Good cook you and Jay Hardcore had this morning on the call, and enjoyed that. Yeah. But you know, when the mayor of YouTube talks, though, there's always something good coming out of it. Yeah. And he's got JBT behind his name. That's big. The mayor of YouTube is a part of the JBT. And that guy right there is a part of the JBT too. Remo, #JBT. Got that fire channel. #Let's Talk Fashion. I think he's dropped 4 episodes so far. 4 fire episodes. So if you haven't seen them, there'd be something to binge watch. All 4 of them. Back to back to back to back. I might do that anyway. Although I saw all 4 of them. Just watch them again. Yeah. That's on my list for this weekend. Watch all the #Let's Talk Fashions again. From Remo. Also, www.richthreads.com is Remo's clothing line. Can't go wrong. Yeah. We got Carlin DeVore's fighting tomorrow too. Daniel's little sister. Katie Taylor dropped those belts at lightweight. I don't know if she dropped all of them, but I know she dropped the IBF and the I think the WBO. I got to check into that. Yeah, because she was holding up the program. You know, how you gonna be undisputed at lightweight and you're undisputed at junior welterweight too, and haven't fought at lightweight in a year? So yeah, they needed to break that up, man. Now Canelo needs to be next, holding up the belts. Undisputed champion at super middleweight, but fighting welterweights and junior middleweight guys and stuff. Come on, man. 2 of Canelo's last 3 fights been against guys that had fighting the first time in his division. Meanwhile, you got David Benavidez, David Morrell. Them guys, they can't get a title fight, but they fight at super middleweight. Okay, what you talking about, Remo? Is Tank hot enough to bring back the IBO? Yeah, I'm gonna touch on the IBO too. Yeah. What made you say that, Remo? The IBO is on my list. I don't know. Tank is hot enough to bring back anything. If Tank say he's the IBO champion, the IBO is back. Big stuff. Immediately. That's all Tank had to do is take a belt and say, this is the IBO belt. And that's a big time belt. Immediately, Remo. There's your answer. Yes. Tank can invent a belt. The IOG belt. Say he's the IOG champion. All of a sudden, that's a major belt because Tank says he's the champion. Salute, Miss Cass. Hashtag JBT. Yeah. Thomas Hill says, yeah, too. Of course. Yeah. Tank can bring back any belt. He's the face of boxing. You know? Yeah, the PBC belt. Yeah, Tank can just invent a belt. That's right. Mike Masick in the building. What's up, Mike? Welcome to the Friday afternoon edition of Cat Sports, the History Channel. Well, Mike Masick been in the building. What am I doing? But salute again, Mike. How's everybody's day going? It's Friday. This week was fast, don't it? Wasn't it? I remember that came up in the hangout this morning. Wow. Can't believe it's Friday. But like I was saying, just so much to do nowadays. Time just gets away from you. I'm still thinking about stuff I was supposed to have done Tuesday. And here it is Friday. New month. Black History Month. Is February still Black History Month? Good. They give us a month. But look at every day is Black History Day to me. 365. Right? But yeah, Remo, answer to your question, of course. Tank can bring back the IBO or any other belt. But I want to talk about that IBO. I'm going to talk about, give you a history of the four big ones, you know, WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF, but then a few little smaller ones that's not recognized by the big four. Okay? But it is some other sanctioning bodies out there. The women got one, the, what is that called? The women's, the WIBA, I believe, Women's International Boxing Association. It's in my notes somewhere. I got everything all set up in order. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah. Thomas Hill says everyone has History Month in the Cass Library. Yeah. I'm getting used to looking at my phone now. 2 o'clock shorty. That's me. Mr. 2 o'clock shorty. We're going to look at these fights, too. We got 2 cards. The card, Joshua Buatsi and Dan Aziz. Yeah. They headline one card. Then, of course, Conor Benn and Peter Dawson. O'Connor had to come out of the UK. This is his first time fighting in Vegas, by the way. But he failed those 2 drug tests. So he didn't have no choice if he wanted to fight. It wasn't going to be in the UK. So he's in Vegas. See how he does. Because I'm pretty sure he got tested to the point where he's going to have to fight clean this time. Probably the first time ever in his life. He was trying to kill poor Chris Eubanks, all the stuff he had in his body for that fight. Pregnancy medicine. Wow. He was trying to kill poor Chris, man. Damn. Conor was loaded down going into that fight. Man. I'm glad they didn't have it. I'm glad they caught him. Chris Eubanks might not be with us any longer if he would have got that ring with Conor. Conor had every kind of illegal PED you could name, even added some. The pregnancy thing. Then if he lost, he was going to blame it on, I was pregnant. Conor Benn. Man, I hope Peter Dawson can pull it out tomorrow, but I doubt it. I don't know, though. Peter is undefeated. He'd be 16-0. I think, yeah. So somebody's got to go. I think Peter is undefeated, though, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check real quick. That is in here. Yeah, Peter Dawson 16-0. Yeah. So somebody's all got to go. We'll touch on it. What time is it? A couple more minutes, I'm gonna get started. Just give them a few more people a little time to get in. Everybody hit the appreciation button. Appreciation button is the like button in the JBT. We call it the appreciation button. Okay. But everybody hit it, whatever it's called. Just hit it. Don't make me come down there into the chat and start stepping to people. But these are my regulars. I know y'all done hit it. It's Friday. Pulled right up on another weekend. Anybody got anything big planned? They're making us wait that extra weekend for the Super Bowl this year. Now, some years I remember they have it back to back after the AFC, after the conference week. But this year, it's a week in between. My Ravens ain't in it no way, so I don't even care. Who y'all got? I got who is it? Oh, I got Kansas City. How many has Mahomes got now? Like 3? You're going to run Tom Brady down. Tom Brady got 7, right? And they better, if he gets 7, they better start calling him the GOAT. Is that what they call Tom Brady? Watch when Patrick Mahomes get to 7, they're going to switch up. Ain't going to be no GOATs no more. He's just good. People is crazy, man. With that hope nonsense. What's up, Aunt McQueen? Aunt McQueen in the building. That was my Suge Knight. Yeah, gotta get him to hit that like, Aunt. Boy, Mike said old school. Yeah. Old school. They care my work for me. Or the bouncer from the hangout. Fender Bender. When Jay says Fender Bender is 6'19". Yeah, Fender Bender is 6'19". So hit the like before Fender Bender comes in here. Let me touch on these fights real quick from tomorrow and get on into the sanctioning bodies. Some of y'all have heard the sanctioning body show before because I did it a while back when I was just getting started. But it's more people now. I thought it would be interesting to do it over again. Like Aunt Thomas Hill probably heard it before. Yeah. But it seemed like it went over pretty good. Where's Dre's Finest? He was in the hangout this morning, but I hadn't seen him in a while. Yeah. That's right. And the benevolent Thomas Hill, mayor of YouTube. Okay. Now the first card is Joshua versus Dan Aziz. Boatsi, I guess that's his name. Y'all know how me and names though. But it's in the light heavyweight division, and it's for the British and Commonwealth titles. Okay. Boatsi comes in at 17-0. He turned pro in 2017. Okay. 2019 he beat Liam Conroy for the British light heavyweight title. And he's also beaten the likes of Ryan Ford, Richard Wolotniks, and Craig Richards. Fights out of London. And he defected from Matchroom to Boxer in May. Okay. That's Joshua. Now, Dan Aziz is also 20-0. So somebody's got to go in that one too. No. Yeah, both undefeated. So both made events on both cards tomorrow. It's 2 undefeated. Both fighters are undefeated. Now, Aziz turned pro in 2017. And he won the English light heavyweight title against Lawrence Osuke in 2019. And he won the Commonwealth light heavyweight title in 2022 against Rocky Fielding. So we got the British and Commonwealth titles on the line tomorrow, light heavyweight. Yep. Al Booger in the building. I knew Al Booger was coming. What's up, Al Booger? Happy Friday to everybody, by the way. Today's the weigh-ins, right? We have to go back and watch them because, well, they're over there in the UK, so I don't know when theirs would be because I think, what are they, ahead of us or behind us? I don't know. I know it's like 6 hours difference or something. But I'll watch them later on, tape or whatever. You know, you can always see stuff nowadays in the social media age. You don't miss nothing. Because everything, once it's out there, it's out there in 2024. Now the next fight, well, the co-main, I think, is Carolyn Du Bois and Daniel's little sister. She's fighting a girl by the name of Miranda Reyes. I think that's the co-main. I'm not sure, but I think so. That's a lightweight, right? And Carolyn Du Bois is 8-0 with 5 knockouts. Not a bad knockout rate for the ladies. 5 out of 8 fights. Now she's emerged as a can't-miss future star. 23 years old, 2020 Olympian on the British team. Yep. Younger sister of Daniel, heavyweight Daniel Du Bois, former champion. I think he had an interim belt or something. Daniel did, yeah. And she could win Saturday. To put her in line for one of the vacant belts. I don't know if this fight is for one of the, I know Katie Taylor vacated some belts. Anybody know if this belt if this fight is for one of those vacant belts at lightweight that Katie Taylor vacated? I'm not sure. But I know if Carla wins this one, she'll be in line for a title shot. Now her last fight was a unanimous decision win over Margaret Rodriguez. And that was in September last year. Now Reyes, she's only got 1 loss, 7 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw with 3 knockouts. But she's on a 2-fight winning streak right now. Her last fight, she outpointed former junior featherweight champion Yasmin Rivas, okay, in a 6th round last September. Now I think this is 10 rounds, and I think this is both of these ladies' first 10 rounds. Okay. Rivas, bear with me for a second. Well, Reyes, okay. She's Reyes is 22 years old, from Houston, Texas. Turned pro in 2018. Okay. And I think that's the co-main. Daniel's little sister, Carolyn. One of them is Miranda Reyes. Okay. A few other fights on the card. We got Adam Azim versus Enoch Paulson. This is for the super lightweight European title. Yeah, this card is full of European fighters. It's in Wembley Arena tomorrow. Now, Azim is 10-0, 10-time national amateur champion. Turned pro in 2020. Won all 10 of his fights. He's won 7 out of 10 fights by knockout. Okay. Last fight was in November. He beat Frank Pettigene for the European title. Okay. So this will be his first defense of it. Paulson is also 14-0. Okay. Now the undefeated fight, he turned pro in 2016. Now, he was born in Zambia, 31 years old, last fought in October. He beat Mike Marchetti by decision. Then we got Vidal Raleigh versus Nick Parker. This is in the cruiserweight division. Also for the English title. Okay. A lot of title fights. For the titles over there, though, English, Commonwealth. Yeah. Raleigh is a 2013 European Junior Championship silver medalist, okay? Turned pro in 2018, 26 years old. Last fight was in September. Beat Nathan Qualls for the English cruiserweight title, okay? In his last fight. So this is his first title defense. Harper is 11-1, just 1 loss. So yeah, we got a couple undefeated fights, and then this guy only has one loss, fighting an undefeated fighter. He turned pro in 2015, and since his last loss in 2017, he's on a 7-fight winning streak. Okay, and his last fight in November, he outpointed Perry Howe. Then Ben Whitaker versus Khalid Grader. Whitaker is 5-0, won the silver medal in the 2020 Olympics for Great Britain. Okay. Turned pro in 2022. Won both of his fights last year. His last one was a TKO win over Steven Leonard in December. Okay. And he has won all but one fight by knockout. A pretty good knockout rate going. All but one by knockout. His opponent, Grader. Grader is 10-13. 10 wins, 13 losses, 5 draws. So there goes the undefeated fight. Wow. 10-13. 5 losses. Probably just getting the bag. Nice test for the youngster. Yeah. Whitaker's a prospect, 5-0. Fighting this veteran with 13 losses. Grader turned pro in 2012, 41 years old. He only has one win in his last 6 fights. But his last fight was a draw in January. So he hadn't fought in a year. Wow, wonder who's gonna win that one. Grader might come in there and shock the world. Then the other card is Conor Benn versus Peter Dawson, headlining the other card tomorrow. Okay. This is at welterweight 12 round, and both undefeated. Conor Benn is 22-0, and Dawson is 16-0. Now, after fighting the majority of his career in the UK, Conor Benn is forced to fight outside of UK now because he failed 2 vital drug tests, right? This will be his first time fighting in Vegas. Now, he's 27 years old, turned pro in 2018. Last fight in September was a unanimous decision over Rodolfo Roscoe. I remember that one. Now, Dawson is 33 years old. He turned pro in 2014. Didn't fight last year. Last fight was in 2022, which was a unanimous decision over Rodrigo Damian Correa. Dawson is from New York. Okay, he also undefeated, 16-0. And elsewhere in the card, I'm just going to tell you who it is. Austin Ammo wins. Oh, Ammo back in the ring, fighting Armel Umumba at middleweight. Johnny Fisher versus Demetrio Besus. Heavyweights. Okay. I think that's like 5 fights on that card. Khalil Cole fighting Geraldo Osuna. Light heavyweights. George Liddell versus Andrew Buchanan. Middleweights. And Jimmy Sains versus Ahmad Sweetie. Also middleweights. So that's the 2 cards for tomorrow. It's boxing. Probably see some good action. A lot of undefeated fights on there. Wow. A lot of O's gonna drop tomorrow. Not unless they be draws, right? So we're gonna talk about these sanctioning bodies now. Y'all ready for the weekend? You got a big one planned, Thomas Hill, this weekend? The mayor of YouTube has a big weekend every weekend, Thomas Hill. Okay, now there's 4 big major sanctioning bodies, okay? WBA, it used to be the NBA, but it's renamed the WBA in 1962, right? Then the following year, a rival body, the World Boxing Council, WBC, was formed. In 1983, the International Boxing Federation, IBF, was formed. And then in 1988, we got the World Boxing Organization, which is the WBO. Okay. Now, first, we're going to talk about the WBA, since that's the oldest one, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. World Boxing Organization was formed in I think 1988. But it didn't really get recognized by the rest of them until the 2010s, though. Okay. That's why on through the 90s, when you talk about undisputed, it still was 3-belt undisputed. I think it was like 2002 when the other three finally recognized the WBO. Yeah. That's when the 4-belt era began. Okay. Yes, yeah. By the 2010s, a boxer had to be recognized by the 4 bodies to be the undisputed world champion. Okay. Now we had got minor bodies like the International Boxing Organization, the World Boxing Union, WBU. Now they are disregarded. Now there's regional sanctioning bodies such as the North American Boxing Federation, NABF, the North American Boxing Council, NABC, and the United States Boxing Association, USBA, has also awarded championships. Okay. Now the Ring magazine. Hold on for one moment, please. Okay. Now the Ring magazine also continues to listing world champions of each weight division, and their rankings continue to be appreciated by fans. That's the one I use, Ring magazine. Okay. And it's owned by Oscar, but I don't hold that against them when I'm looking at the belts and stuff, because I think Ring magazine rankings are on point, man. Yeah, I really do. Remember I went through each rankings for each weight class a while back? Yeah, I use Ring, because they were right on point with what I would say if I was ranking these fighters. If CAS Sports had a sanctioning body and was ranking them, I would be right on point with Ring magazine. Maybe a few little differences, but yeah, I really like the Ring ranking. Okay, we're going to start out with the WBA, the World Boxing Association, since that was the first one. Okay, we ready? Hope we had time to drop the link today too. Nobody else came in the building yet? Nope. What are y'all talking about in the chat? Let me see. 88. Okay, the World Boxing Association, WBA. Okay, the World Boxing Association is the oldest of the major sanctioning bodies in boxing. It was founded in 1921 as the National Boxing Association, or NBA, okay? Now, the first belt recognized was the Jack Dempsey, George Carpenter heavyweight championship fight in 1921 from Jersey City, New Jersey. And that's last time was when Ant told me that Carpenter started out like featherweight or something. And that's amazing. He went from featherweight and ended up at heavyweight. Was it featherweight, Ant? I know it was somewhere down there. I did not know that, but yeah. He covered a wide range, George's Carpenter. But that was the first fight recognized by the old NBA in 1921. Jack Dempsey and George's Carpenter. Okay. And George's was on my list of top 10 when I did the European fighters, by the way. Yeah. What? Al Booker? I did not know that. The Fury Usyk fighters kapoots? What happened? Man, I did not know that, Al Booker. That's news to me. Breaking news from Al Booker. The Fury Usyk fight It's Caboose. There's Mike Ryan. What's up, Mike Ryan? What's going on today, bro? Welcome to the Friday afternoon edition of Cast Sports, the History Channel. What happened, Al Booker? Let me know. Was it Fury? Because he was the one that held it up. It would have happened by now, you know. That's bad news. I was looking forward to that one. Heavyweight undisputed. That's good for boxing, I think. Wow. Okay, Fury got cut. I knew it. What did I just ask you? Was it Fury? Got cut in training. So it's not off altogether then, right, Al Booker? It's just like postponed temporarily or something. It's not just, well, you said kaput. That means like done. Why would it be done altogether just for a training camp injury? You know, why not just postpone to a later date? You know, injury. Don't that mean we still get it down the line later in the year? I guess. Oh, that's bad news. That was this month. This is February. I think it was like 2 Saturdays away, the 17th. This is the 3rd. Then we got next week. Yeah. Because we got Teofimo and Jermaine Ortiz Thursday. You know, Keyshawn and Pedraza on the card. Yeah, I think Pedraza will be a good test for Keyshawn. Good veteran. I think Keyshawn will pull it off by decision, but Pedraza is a good veteran, been in there with everybody, and knows his way around the ring. We'll give Keyshawn some good work. Yeah, I like that fight for Keyshawn. But yeah, wow. Okay, let me get back to this. But yeah, Fury and Usyk is off. I hope it's not for good. It's just an injury. But yeah, that fight was in Jersey City, New Jersey. Carpenter and Dempsey. First one recognized by the NBA. Now the NBA was formed by representatives from 13 American states, including Sam Milner, okay, to counterbalance the influence that the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC, wielded over boxing. Okay. Now the NBA and the NYSAC sometimes crown different world champions in the same division, leading to confusion about who was the real champion. Now, don't that sound familiar? That's what's going on now. So that was always seemed like a part of boxing, you know, the different bodies crowning different champions, causing confusion. Now, originally, the primary functions of the NBA was to sanction title fights, publish lists of outstanding challengers, and withdraw titular recognition. Okay, didn't say nothing about sanctioning fees when it first started. Now, it did not impose its will on championship fights, and it did not conduct purse bids, okay, or collect sanctioning fees. Okay, so there was no sanctioning fees back then in the beginning. Yeah, 2 weeks, Thomas Hill. That's what I thought. It was the 17th. Yeah, I was looking forward to that too. Fury got right up on the fight and then pulled up. Man, and what did I say before Al Booker put Fury in there? I said, was it Fury? But I think we're still getting it right, Thomas Hill. What was Al Booker that gave the news? The injury is just a postponement. You know, that's not just not going to happen. You know, the Saudis was putting that together. I guess it was a pretty good card too. They should just move somebody else up into the main event and still have the card, you know. Fury don't stop no show. Okay, but yeah, they didn't have sanctioning fees back then in the beginning. Now, the NBA officially became the WBA on August 23rd, 1962. Now, Gilberto Mendoza was the president of the WBA from 1982 until his death in 2016, after which his son, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., took over as president. Okay? And he's still the president today, Gilberto Mendoza Jr., like old Mauricio took over from his father. Now, in the 1990s, the WBA moved its central offices from Panama City to Venezuela, okay? But in January 2007, it returned to Panama City, where it is today, okay? Now, the WBA has had its share of corruption scandals over the years, like they all have, okay? Now, in 1981, a boxing judge accused the organization of influencing judges to give their champions more favorable scores, okay? So they was doing it then, they doing it now, right? The same judge also claimed he received bribes from the organization to influence fights, okay? Now things got even more scandalous when top-ranked promoter, the Godfather himself, Bob Arum, claimed he had to pay the WBA referee to get more favorable outcomes for his fighters. But that's not the WBA, that's you, Godfather, right? You're the one paying the referee. Just have to be WBA referee. That sounds like the Godfather to me. So listen to it. Okay. Okay. Things got more scandalous when top-ranked promoter, the Godfather, Bob Arum, claimed he had to pay WBA referees to get more favorable outcomes for his fighters. You didn't have to, you chose to. Okay. Told y'all today the Godfather was all in the middle of this stuff. Okay, now let's go to the WBC, the World Boxing Council. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT, in the building. Salute, Lonnie Lee, and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the History Channel. Well, you made it to another weekend, Lonnie. Congratulations. And have a good weekend, by the way. Everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. I'll be back Monday to talk about them. But I ain't going yet. I still got another app. But salute, Lonnie Lee. How are you today, bro? Good afternoon. Welcome aboard. Yeah, we get ready to talk about the We Back Canelo Commission album, the WBC. Okay, now the World Boxing Council is commonly regarded as the most prestigious sanctioning body in boxing. Now, the organization was founded a year after the WBA was founded in 1963. Now, the WBA was originally in 1921 by the NBA, but 1962 was when it was officially the WBA. So the WBC was founded a year later, in 1963. And it's been responsible for some of the highest profile fights in boxing history, including the Fury vs. Wilder trilogy. Many boxing experts view the WBC champion at any weight class as the true division champion. I don't. Okay. I'm not one of those experts. But then, not many consider me a boxing expert. But I don't view the WBC champion at any weight class as a true champion. And some of them, but not all. Okay. Now, the WBC was initially established by 11 countries: the United States, Argentina, the United Kingdom, France, Mexico, the Philippines, Panama, Chile, Peru, Venezuela, and Brazil. Representatives met in Mexico City on February 14, 1963, Valentine's Day, upon invitation of Adolf Lopez Mateos, then president of Mexico, to form an international organization to unify all commissions of the world to control the expansion of boxing. Because see, remember the WBA had started as like a national organization, right? NBA. So the WBA was formed to unify all commissions of the world to control the expansion of boxing. Now, the groups that historically had recognized several boxers as champions included the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC, the National Boxing Association, NBA, of the United States, and the European Boxing Union, EBU, and the British Boxing Board of Control, the BBBC. Yeah. Let me write that. I forgot about that EBU. If I had time, I might touch on them. Yeah. And the BBBC. Okay. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I'm back. Smash the like, smash the like. Let me read some comments. I gotta remember. Okay. Our Booker says, Thomas Hill, I don't believe a single thing that comes out of Fury or his camp. Me neither, Al Booker. Me neither. That's why I asked you when you first said it. First thing I said was it Fury, remember? Mm-hmm. And it was him. Yeah. Now, but for the most part, these groups lack the all-encompassing international status they claim. Today, the WBC has 161 member countries. The current WBC president is Mauricio Suleiman. Former presidents include Luis Spada and Ramon G. Velasquez of Mexico, Cristiano and Montano Jr. of the Philippines, and Jose Suleiman of Mexico, father of Mauricio. Jose Suleiman was president from 1975 until his death in 2014. And then you know who took over then? Mauricio. Now, in response to the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, the WBC blocked championship fights involving Russian and Belarusian boxers. Okay. Now, the WBC, that's why they were talking the best nonsense about they wouldn't sanction Bivol and Beterbiev. Remember that? Beterbiev. Remember that? Yeah. Okay. Now, the WBC was the first sanctioning body to reduce boxing matches from 15 to 12 rounds. Now, when they did it, there was still an option, depending on the fighters, some contracts still with 15 rounds. It wasn't all 12 rounds at that point, but they were the first ones to start reducing fights from 15 to 12. But we still had 15-round fights in the beginning. There was 15 and 12 rounds. Like now it's 12 and 10, yeah. Now the decision came after the death of Kim Duk-Koo after his exhausting 14 rounds with Ray Mancini in 1983. Yeah, I saw that fight. Yeah. That's when they started going from 15 to 12. Yeah. 83. Now the other sanctioning bodies immediately followed suit. And professional boxing matches have been limited to 12 rounds ever since. Now, they still had a few 15-round fights after that. But the writing was on the wall. It didn't take long before it just became 12. 12 and 10, Now, some of the big name champions that have held WBC titles include Muhammad Ali, Canelo Alvarez, Roberto Duran, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Bernard Hopkins, Hector Camacho, Manny Pacquiao, Eric Morales, Thomas Hearns, I give it say Thomas Hill, Thomas Hearns, and Vitaly Klitschko. Okay. Now, like the other sanctioning bodies, the WBC has had its share of controversy. They all have. Okay, yeah, I like this. Now, I remember this. Now, Roy Jones relinquished his belt, right? But then he changed his mind. But before he changed his mind, Graziano Marchigiani had already fought for and won the belt in Jones's absence. Yet, the WBC broke many of its own rules to reinstate Jones as champion, just because he was the more prominent name. Now check this out. Graziano sued the WBC over their decision to reinstate Jones, and a judge awarded him $30 million. So he probably was happy they did that, because that $30 million was more than he had ever made his whole career put together. But yeah, remember that. Roy Jones, Roy Jones relinquished the belt, right? Vacated it. And then this other guy, Graziano, fought for it and won it. Then all of a sudden, Roy Jones is going to change his mind. No, I don't want to vacate. I want my belt back. And they gave it back to him, right? Ain't that crazy? But Graziano sued and got $30 million. So he was probably glad they made that decision. That was more money than he made his whole career. He could retire it. Miss Joette in the building. What's up, Miss Joette? Good afternoon. You, Miss Joette. Appreciate you coming through, hitting the like for us. And you have a great weekend. Yeah, but wasn't that something? This guy gonna vacate his belt. You have a fight for the vacant belt. The guy win it. Then all of a sudden he gonna want his belt back. And you're gonna turn around and give it back to him. That's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. I remember that. And Graziano sued because they were wrong. Once you had that fight for the vacant belt, how can Roy Jones come back and say he won it back and then you're going to give it back to him? And the judge awarded him $30 million for that. Okay, let's go to the WBO, the World Boxing Organization. Let's salute to Miss Joette, everybody, in the building. Stop by to hit the like button. Appreciate that. Okay, WBO is next. I think that's the youngest of them. I should have did the IBF, but it's all good. WBO. I'm trying to keep up and read the comments too. And that was the last comment with Miss Joette. The World Boxing Organization. Okay, and the WBA is headquartered in Panama, and the WBC is in Mexico. WBO is in Puerto Rico, by the way. IBF is only one in the United States. It's in New Jersey. Okay, now the World Boxing Organization is the youngest of the four major sanctioning bodies. It was founded in 1988, but it wasn't recognized as a significant title unit until 2004, right? I said 2002, it was 2004, when the WBC gave the organization its stamp of approval. Okay. When the WBC gave its stamp, the IBF and the WBA followed suit. Okay. Like they said, the WBC is considered the most prestigious of the four. Now, the WBO started after a group of Puerto Rican and Dominican businessmen broke out of the WBA's 1988 annual convention in Isla Margarita, Venezuela, over a dispute regarding what rules should be applied. Okay. So the WBO broke out of that meeting over the rules and said they're going to form their own organization. So the WBO's first president was Ramon Peña Acevedo of the Dominican Republic. Now, soon after its beginning, the WBO was staging world championship fights around the world. Now, its first championship fight was for its vacant super middleweight title between Thomas the Hitman Hearns and James the Heat Kinchin. I remember that fight. I didn't know that was the first WBO title fight. Yeah. Now Hearns won by decision, but it was a good fight. Thomas the Hitman Hearns, James the Heat Kitchen. Hearns won by decision. Now, in order to gain respectability, the WBO next elected former world light heavyweight champion Jose Torres of Puerto Rico as its president. I think Jose was one of my top 10 Puerto Rican fighters too. Yeah. Okay. And they was trying to get more credibility, so they went and elected an ex-fighter as their president, Jose Torres. Okay. From Puerto Rico. Okay. Now, as president. Torres left in 1996, giving way to Puerto Rican lawyer Francisco Valcarcel as president. Now, Valcarcel has held that position ever since. Okay. Ever since 96. Yeah. Francisco Valcarcel has been running the WBO. Now, in the early years, the WBO was more popular in Europe than in the United States. Okay. But they had a lot of international fights. Getting ahead of myself. So the WBO started arranging international boxing matches shortly after it was founded, because of its struggle to gain credibility in the United States. Okay. Now, some of the heavyweight champions even relinquished their belts to pursue better options with other sanctioning bodies. Even the Ring magazine, the official magazine for boxing, didn't recognize the organization at first. Because remember, they didn't start recognizing them, 2004? Yeah. Okay, so because they had that dispute with the WBA and then Meek, remember, when they first got formed, so the rest of them wouldn't recognize the WBO. Now, the WBO did enjoy some success in the lighter divisions early, They managed to get impressive list of champions like Nassim Hamed, Johnny Tapia, and Chris Eubanks. Other notable fighters who competed early WBO fights were Vladimir Klitschko, Oscar De La Hoya, and Marco Antonio Barrera. Okay. And they also did the thing involving the Russian fighters, like the WBC did, but that was in later years. Okay. WBO. I can't believe it's 3 o'clock already. WBO, the last of the sanctioning bodies formed. Now, the International Boxing Federation, or the IBF. BN Boxing News in the building. Salute to BN Boxing News and Jay Hardcore from Hardcore Boxing News is in the building. Salute. Welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the History Channel, to BN Boxing News and Jay Hardcore of the Hangout, 8 and 8. Because 8 plus 8 equals the Hangout. 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Tonight is a Friday night hangout. BYOB. Okay. And be prepared to do a lot of left. He got robbed a couple weeks ago, remember? By BN Boxing News. Yeah. And I went into the hangout, got robbed. So tune in tonight. Well, I'm sorry. It might keep you from tuning in. Sorry, Jay. But yeah, 8 plus 8 equals the hangout. Tonight is the Friday night hangout. Tune in tonight. You don't know what might not happen in that joint. I'm going to be in there. But the International Boxing Federation. Okay. It's the second youngest of the big 4 sanctioning bodies. Okay. Formed in 1977. Now, it started as a regional sanctioning body. Oh, come on, man. Damn. every day when I'm on my show, the spam calls. Now, the IBF started as a regional sanctioning body. Okay, it worked with the United States Boxing Association, the old USBA. I think the USBA might still be around. Okay, now, but it eventually gained significant recognition in 1983. That year, at the WBA's annual convention, Robert W. Bobby Lee Sr., president of the USBA, lost in his bid to become WBA president against Gilberto Mendoza, right? So him and some others then formed what later became the IBF, based in New Jersey. That's the only one based in the United States, the only one of the big four, where its main offices are still located today. I think it's Paterson, New Jersey. Now, the IBF first champion was Marvin Camel, who won the belt in the cruiserweight division. In 1984, the IBF gained credibility by recognizing Larry Holmes, the Hawk, Aaron Pryor, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and Donald Curry, already established champions in other organizations as IBF world champions. Okay. Now, Holmes had to relinquish his WBC title to accept the IBF title. Well, I know they hit Holmes off well to do that. Holmes dropped his WBC belt to take the new belt. So, you know, the IBF hit him off well. In 1999, the IBF reputation took a massive hit. Massive. When founder Robert Lee was indicted for racketeering and other violations for taking bribes in exchange for high boxer rankings, okay? Indicted along with him was his son, Robert Lee Jr., former IBF executive and Virginia boxing commissioner, Donald William Brennan, commissioner of boxing in Virginia, 86 years old, went to jail. And South American IBF representative, Francisco Fernandez, okay? Now, Lee was convicted and sentenced to prison and fined. Now, in 2000, boxing promoter, the Godfather, Bob Arum, testified to having paid IBF President Lee $100,000 in 1995 to approve the Schultz-Foreman fight. So why didn't the Godfather go to jail? The man ain't put no gun to his head and make him pay that money. See, the Godfather been mixed up in a few of those scandals. Remember the was the WBA one when he paid the referee? Remember? Now he paying sanctioning bodies presidents. So if he was doing it then, he doing it now, right? If he was doing it back then, he doing it now. Okay? The Godfather. Like Aunt McQueen said yesterday, was it this morning? They don't call him the Godfather for nothing. Yeah, the Godfather's a bad man. Yeah, rest in peace, Carl the truth. Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed, yeah. Did he just pass away, Ed? Carl Weathers? Wow. Yeah, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. That's Apollo Creed himself, yeah. Anybody don't know Apollo Creed? He fought Rocky, and his son also was a champion. And if Rocky in the Hall of Fame, why ain't Apollo Creed in there? Huh? Rocky's in the real Hall of Fame. He got the same record I got, 0-0. Okay. And Apollo Creed is also 0-0, so he should be in there too. If Rocky in there. Okay. But yeah, the Godfather been mixed up in all this mess, man. He paid the WBA referee for favorable treatment of his fighters, and he paid the WBO president $100,000 to approve the Schultz-Foreman fight, okay? So if he was doing it then, he's doing it now. No question. Now, other promoters also admitted making similar payments to Lee. Okay. Former WBA Vice President Hiawatha Knight became IBF president, and she got it together after Lee's conviction. That made her the first woman president of any world governing body, organization. And not just of the big four, that was any of them, okay? Hiawatha Knight. I guess I'm spelling that right. Hiawatha. Hiawatha. Let me see. HIA. What's the name? Hiawatha. What's up, Hiawatha? Hiawatha. Will you marry me? It's quite a name. But she was the first woman to be president of a sanctioning body. There it is. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Y'all figure it out. There it is in the chat. Hiawatha. That sounds like an Indian name. Anyway, she became president after that big scandal, and she straightened it out. Okay. And then Daryl Peoples became president of the IBF in 2010, and he's currently their president today. Daryl Peoples. Him and Hiawatha, because he was one of Hiawatha's assistants, and they got it together. Now we got some notable smaller sanctioning bodies, and I want to go over them very quick because I'm gonna drop the link today too. Yeah. Okay. The IBO. I don't know exactly. The International Boxing Organization. Let's talk about that. Okay. The IBO. Let me pull that up. International Boxing Organization. Now they're not recognized by the big four. Now, if the WBC give you your stamp of approval, then you get into the big four. Okay. Like the WBO came in '88, but they didn't get into the big four till 2004. When the WBC give you a stamp of approval, the IBF and the WBA falls in line. Okay. But the WBA was the first sanctioning body. It was the NBA. Okay. In '62, they became the WBA. Then the WBC came a year later. Now let's look at this IBO, man. See what they talking about. How's everybody doing this Friday afternoon? Anyway, though, you like this morning, like Jay and was talking about in the hangout. Well, it's been a fast week, man. Seems like it should be like Wednesday, but it's Friday. We got fights tomorrow. I'm gonna watch the weigh-ins later on. You know. And old Conor Benn had to come out of that UK. Yeah. Fighting for the first time in Vegas. Now the IBO, okay. It is an independent and well-known organization, but it's not recognized by the big four governing bodies, WBA, BC, IBF, WBO. They only recognize each other in their ranking and title unification. Despite this, as of 2023, the IBO title is unified with 3 of the 4, including the WBA, IBF, and WBO in separate weight divisions. Okay. But not, you notice who's missing? WBC. Now, once the WBC start recognizing them, then they down. Okay. Because, like I said earlier, the WBC is the most prestigious of the big four. You talking about Tyson Fury's cut, Al Booger? Oh, I don't know what he's talking about. He saw the pic on Twitter. Cut right over the eye. Just disgusting. Okay. Now, it's recognized as a legitimate world championship by the British Boxing Board of Control, the European Boxing Union, BoxRec, and Boxing Scene. But it's not recognized by Ring Magazine or any other major 4 sanctioning bodies. A little history of it. Now, the IBO was founded in 1988 and incorporated in Illinois in 1992 by John W. Daddono. The organization was later moved to Florida in 1997 and incorporated in Florida at that time. Ed Levine, who continues to serve as the organization's president, became a partner and president of the IBO at that time, 1992. Now, the organization received acclaim by implementing a computerized system, the Independent World Boxing Rankings. In the late 1990s, they removed subjective elements from the ratings in an effort to bring more credibility to the sport. From 2014, the organization now employs BoxRec, the independent boxing records keeper and computerized rankings website, to produce IBO's rankings. Many marquee champions have held and continue to hold International Boxing Organization's world titles. But 4 is enough, man. IBO sounds pretty credible, but we don't need no more. We got 4, man. 5 is just, where did you stop at when you get up to like 10 sanctioning bodies? No, I'm sorry, IBO. 4 is really too many. I liked it when we had the WBA and the WBC back in the day. So IBO, nah. That's probably why they won't let them in, man, because they say, well, 4 is enough. We can't afford to have another sanctioning body, man. No. What y'all think about that? Should they let the IBO in? It's pretty good sanctioning body. Drop one of the other ones and let them on in. That's what I say. But 5 is too many. What's up, Just Do Boxing? In the building. Coming up in about 30 minutes. Salute to Just Do Boxing, everybody. In the building. The voice. Salute. Just Do. What's happening this afternoon, bro? Happy Friday. Okay. But yeah, like I was saying, the IBO sounds pretty credible, man. But we got 4 sanctioning bodies. We don't need 5. Because 4 is too many. So, sorry. They need to drop one of them other ones. Like I said, I liked it better when it was the WBA and the WBC. That was enough. And I did when I did my show on the rankings and all the champions. Now 17 weight divisions. The men have over 80 champions. The women have over 60. So between the men and women, there's 34 weight classes, weight divisions. Over 150 champions, man. Come on now. We talk about some confusion. So we certainly don't need to add another sanctioning body. Now we might be getting upwards of 200 champions. Can you imagine that? Okay, here's the WBO 8 champion. Here's the WBO. Here's the WBC. Here's the IBF. And then we got the IBO champion. We will never get undisputed. We got to go from unifying 4 belts to unifying 5. There'll never be another undisputed again ever. So no, we don't need another one. Now the IBO permits only 1 world champion per weight division. We have never had more than 1 champion per weight division, nor will we, according to the president, Ed Levine. I like them. Get rid of the who we gonna drop? The WBO, IBF. I like them because the other ones they got the super, the regular, the interim, the champion in recess. That's 4 for each sanctioning body. So you're talking about a potential 16 champions in a weight class. The IBO says they only have 1. They've always only had 1, and they always will only have 1. So who we gonna drop? WBO? We gotta add this IBO. WBO. Who was the last one in? WBO. Sorry, WBO. You're being replaced. Yeah. I like how this IBO sounds. I never really studied them before, but they don't sound too bad at all, man. Now, in addition to world champions, the IBO recognizes regional. Oh man, you just regional champions. Okay, including the Intercontinental champion. They ain't no different. They got these little sub champions too. But the man just said you only got 1 champion per weight class. Then you just went back on your own word. The regional champion, right? Now, if an IBO Intercontinental Champion successfully defends his or her title 3 times, he may receive a mandatory opportunity for the world title. That's no different than the rest of them. So you got the little interims and all that stuff too, IBO. You're safe, WBO. You're not going to be replaced. You're safe. IBO was talking good for a minute there. Now, we also have a Women's International Boxing Federation. Let's look at them real quick. The women's, Now, the women are sanctioned by the big four: WBA, WBC, WBO, IBF. Also have their own sanctioning body. Let's take a quick look at that. It's called the Women's International Boxing Federation. Let me get that real quick. But yeah, WBO, you're safe. The IBO not gonna replace you. They was talking good, but they got the same old stuff everybody else got. They just don't call them interims and regulars. But he just said the Intercontinental Champion win 3 belts straight, fight straight, they get a chance for the real belt. That's the same stuff the rest of them do. We don't need no more of that. No way. We got too many sanctioning bodies as it is. At one time back in the day, the WBA and WBC went right hand in hand. I think it was when the big split was when they really split was when they had the dispute over the Ali and Spinks. Because Ali and Spinks, I know the heavyweight division was unified. WBA, WBC champion was Muhammad Ali, right? But then he fought Leon Spinks. Leon Spinks beat him. So then Leon Spinks agreed for the rematch. Now, I don't know which way it went, but one of them was sanctioned the rematch, but the other one wanted Leon Spinks to fight somebody else instead of Ali. So then they split. That's when they split, right there. That was 1970 something. Yeah. Because one was okay sanctioning the rematch with Ali and Spinks. The other one wanted Spinks to fight somebody else. So they went their different ways. And, and now we was getting ready to get the unification undisputed heavyweight. Now Fury done backed out of it. Because heavyweight unified would be big for boxing, man. Because as boxing goes, as heavyweight division goes, that's how boxing goes, Now I know the little smaller weight divisions is making noise and everything, but no, it's still heavyweight still runs the show. Okay, we get an undisputed heavyweight champion, that'd be good for boxing. Now, Al Booker, you never answered me. Now, is that just temporarily postponed, or is it off? It can't be off for good. It's just an injury, right? You said where you said it was like it's off for good, but why would they cancel it altogether just for injury? Temporarily postponed, right? And that was just 2 weeks away. That was just 2 weeks away. And Al Booker. Yeah, we keeping the IBO out. Yeah, you was with me on that, wasn't you, T. Hill? Get rid of the WBO. Thomas Hill. Thomas Hill, you said the WBO and the WBC. The Suleimans, yeah. Yeah, that would be the one but you know what? That's the most prestigious one though. They really run things. They're the one that say, well, let this one in, because the WBO didn't get in until the WBC gave their stamp of approval. So the WBO and the IBF always follow behind the WBC. Because remember, I met the women, 12 3-round fights. Amanda Serrano, Danilo Ramos, the IBF, WBA, WBO sanctioned it, the WBC didn't. And it's still not a thing, right? Now, if the WBC had sanctioned it, all the women would be getting the 12 3 rounds. But the WBC didn't, and the women still only getting 10 rounds, 2 minutes. So the WBC is really running the show. Okay. Postpone, okay. According to Mike Carpenter. Man, I didn't answer one phone. Now the spam calling me on the other one. Crazy, man. Okay, thank you, Al Booker, for that information. Let's take a look at this Women's International Boxing Federation. Because like I was saying, they get sanctioned by the Big Four, but they also have their own sanctioning body, too. Now, the Women's International Boxing Federation is one of the more recognized world championship fight sanctioning organizations in women's boxing. Founded in 1989, it's based in Miami, Florida, and presided over by Barbara Buttrick, who is a former boxer herself. I did a profile on her a few weeks back, remember? Jay Hardcore liked her name, Barbara Buttrick. Remember that, Jay? You ragged on the woman's name that morning. I almost didn't do the profile. Jay said, well, that's quite a name, Barbara Buttrick. Like she had to fight in school every day. Barbara Buttrick. Now, the WIBF is not associated with the similarly named International Boxing Federation, no, which promotes men's and women's boxing. Now, you would think that at first glance, IBF, then you see the Women's International Boxing Federation, people say, oh, they must be affiliated, but they're not. They're not. They're not affiliated, okay? It's got the same name with the W in front of it. Headquartered in Miami, Florida. President is Barbara Buttrick, former fighter herself. Women's International Boxing Federation. Okay, what else we got here? These little small ones. We got the something called the American Boxing Organization. Let's check them out. Let's be on sanctioning bodies. And remember, next week, I'm working on a show this week and I'm going to be busy. I am going to do a show because we came up in the hangout yesterday where I'm going to do every step of making a boxing match from the moment the negotiations start all the way up to when they step between the ropes, okay? And Senior from the Rise podcast said he might want to be a part of that. So that's going to be next week. Don't miss it, okay? I'm just going to just look at it all the way from when promotion begins all the way to the end, you know? The venue, ticket sales, what they call it when you're in there buying your concessions, feedings, everything, all the way up. But when the talks start to when they step through the ropes, Cass Sports gonna break it down for you next week. I don't know what day yet. Okay, we're working on that this weekend. What was I doing? I'm old. I can't remember nothing happened 5 minutes ago. Oh, the American Boxing Organization. Right. Man, I had his phone go out. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Bear with me for one moment, please. My peoples. I got it plugged into the wall. I don't get it, man. My equipment messing up on me. I guess I gotta use. Oh Lord. Bear with me for 1 second, please. Gee, Christmas. Oh my God. Oh. Man. Oh, guess what? Yeah, I told you I'm old. I got the charger plugged into the phone, but it's not plugged into the wall. It died on me. Wow. Had it plugged into the phone, but didn't have it plugged into the wall. Man, oh man. So I had to work my laptop like 10 minutes behind, but I got to work off of that now. Didn't have the phone plugged. But I don't know, it'll come on once you get like 1-2% on it. Now we're going to look at the American Boxing Organization. I have no idea what that is. Okay? But it's some kind of sanctioning body, and we're going to check it out. That's what we're talking about today. American Boxing Association. Of course, we got some over there in England that, does it. It's called the ABO. Okay. Oh, my phone is coming back. Now, the ABO, it's an American company based in Illinois. Grassroots boxing organization is the only one in the world with former world champions that sit on the board of directors. All right. You got former world champions sitting on the board of directors. Now, the ABO currently has 4 intercontinental champions at the super welterweight division. Okay. Ron Cruz is a native of California. He captured his title in Tijuana, Mexico in February 25th, 2017. Justin McCaskill captured the lightweight intercontinental championship over Natalie Brown of Canada, July 29th, 2017. And Keon Johnson captured the intercontinental super middleweight title in Tijuana, Mexico in 2017. Okay. CEO is Juan C. Curiel. I heard that name before. President is Francisco Leo. Chairman is Ernie Brown. I never heard of none of them as boxers. Leroy Murphy. No, that's not too much to that. Then we got the International Boxing Union. Let's check that out. If my phone is back yet. I don't know. I give up. I give up on this phone. It's coming. Let's take a look at the International Boxing Union. Since we're on sanctioning bodies. Because we got more than just the big 4. Those are the ones that's recognized. And most big fights are centered around them. Oh, you know what? I wanted to look at the European Boxing area. That's one of the big ones over there. I'm always hearing about them. The European Boxing Union. There we go. The EBU. European Boxing Union. Oh, postpone. Okay, Al Booker, thank you. So, they're supposed to get it back together sometime this year. But you know, Fury might just be trying to get out of it. Who knows? Okay, I got 1%. Come on, phone. Here we go. We're back. Yeah, Fury might never fight Usyk. I believe he'll beat him. He's just too big. You know? I was picking Fury in that fight. Yeah. For sure. Who anybody give Usyk a chance? Well, he has a chance, but I definitely was picking Fury. I don't know why he won't fight the little guy. Maybe he saw what happened to Joshua 2 times, you know. I ain't even got 20 likes today. Maybe he saw what happened to Joshua twice. Okay, let's look at the European Boxing Union. The European Boxing Union, EBU, it was formerly the International Boxing Union. It's a pan-European governing body. Sanctions championship fights in professional boxing. It governs the most prestigious continental title in Europe, the EBU European Championships. in addition to the EBU championship for competitors from within the European Union and the EBU championship for those outside the European Union. Okay. During most of the 20th century, and especially during the era's first decades, the EBU recognized many world title fights as the IBU. It competed against the American-based National Boxing Association, which staged the more widely recognized world title fights. Okay. Yeah, so the EBU was the IBU back around the time when the WBA was the NBA. Interesting. Okay, it formed in it was the International Boxing Union. It formed in 1911. Okay, June 1911 in Paris, France, was the first attempt to create a unified international governing body for professional boxing. Okay, and that went on until 1942. Okay. It suspended operations with the outbreak of World War I, but resumed action in 1920. Headquartered in Paris. It was in the hands of the Nazis during the occupation of France during World War II. On the 5th of June, 1942, it formed the Association of Pugilistic Professionals of Europe, APPE, to replace the IBU because it fell into the hands of the Nazis. Look like this stuff is. Then the European Boxing Union came into being in 1946. Okay. Now, in 1963, the president of Mexico, Adolfo Lopez Matias, invited the EBU, the British Boxing Board of Control, the New York State Athletic Commission, and the national sanctioned organizations of 9 other countries. That's when they formed the WBC. Now, the EBU's personnel ultimately decided to recognize regional title belts as a federation under the WBC. Now, during the 1990s, the EBU began to recognize women's boxing regional championship belts and welcomed former Yugoslavian country Bosnia as a member country. Currently winning an EBU title is considered important, but not necessary by many European boxers in order to go on and fight for a world title of the 4 most widely recognized world championship boxing organizations. You know who those are. Following the formation of the European Economic Union, the EBU issued subtitles for the union countries. Now, in light of the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, the EBU announced that it would not certify any championship contests involving boxers from Russia and Belarus. Same thing the WBC and the WBO did, remember? Same thing the WBO did. We're getting on up to 4 o'clock, y'all. Okay, there you have it. A history of the sanctioning bodies. Okay? Main big 4, the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, and the WBO. All had their share scandals. Bob Father right in the middle of them, paying off referees, paying off presidents of sanctioning bodies. And like I said, if he was doing it then, he's doing it now. He admitted to doing it then. Testified under oath that he paid $100,000 to former president of the IBF, Robert Lee, who went to prison for his crimes, okay? Including accepting bribes from the Bob Father. And the ball father also admitted paying off WBA referees for favorable treatment of his fighters back in the 90s. Okay. So if he was doing it then, he's doing it now. Right, Ed? And says, I think Fury may be a bit shot worn. Okay. A bit shot worn. I just wanted to see that fight. It was 2 weeks away. But now, who knows when they'll have it, if they'll have it. That is very disappointing. But hey, that's boxing. So we got Teofimo and Jermaine Ortiz Thursday, Keyshawn and Pedraza. I don't know who else is on that card right now. But those two fights alone right there make it a good card. Yeah. I like Pedraza. Yeah. I mean, not Pedraza. I like Keyshawn, but I like Pedraza to get some good work in that fight. Pedraza has a fire resume, man. Fire. Yeah. I think me and Ed was looking at that one time, talking about the people he fought. Fought them all. Like Oscar. I put Oscar's resumes up against anybody's in boxing history. Oscar got one of those old school resumes. When everybody was fighting everybody. Yeah. Oscar got in there. He wanted to smoke. You know? Wow. Yeah, Oscar wanted to smoke. The messed around and got late. We got 15 minutes. So, yeah, I'm trying to see who else is on that schedule for Teofimo and Jermaine Thursday. I was looking at it yesterday. All I saw was Teofimo, the main and the co-main. They didn't have anybody else. But I know it's more than 2 fights on it. Yeah, Keyshawn and Jose Pedraza. Who else is on there? It doesn't say. It just says, anybody know who else is on that card? Besides the main. Oh, shoot. There we go. There we go. Emiliano Vargas. Abdullah Mason. Notice every time they have a card, they put in Abdullah Mason and Emiliano Vargas both on it. They are setting up something between those two, man. 2 young fighters. That'll be a super fight one day. Because they were both on the last card together, remember? Now they're on this one. Emiliano Vargas, Abdullah Mason, Javier Martinez, Charlie Sheehy, Alan Garcia, Art Barrera. Yeah. Top Rank got a lot of the good young stars over there, man. Yeah. But y'all notice that? Yeah, Emiliano Vargas, 8-0, 7 knockouts. That's a hellacious knockout rate there. Abdullah Mason, 11-0, 9 knockouts. Another good knockout rate. Yeah, one day that is going to be a super humongous fight between those two. You know, if they keep winning. I can't wait. What are we talking about? Vargas is 8-0, Abdullah is 11-0. Maybe late 2025, early 2026. Is that too soon for them? Where are they anyway? Is it lightweight? I think it's lightweight, right? Those two guys. Yeah. So that's a pretty good card. They don't have any opponents or anything yet. Yeah. That's next Thursday. I like those Thursday fights too. Yep. That was the one with Shakur and De Los Santos. Yes. Great job, man. Always does a great job, Scouty. And another good Thursday card. Love it. I think we got some Friday cards coming up early this year. At least 2 of them coming up early this year. Let's just look at it. But we can scratch the big heavyweight unification from 17th. That was just 2 weeks away, too. Wow. But that's okay. We still in good hands. Still in good hands. Today is Friday. I'll be back Monday. There we go. Then we got boxing again next Saturday. Anthony Yard on the card. Liam Williams headlining it. Hamza Shiraz, middleweights. That's next Saturday. Yeah. Abdullah, oh shoot. Masood Abdullah. Let's say Abdullah, please. Guy named Masood Abdullah. We got 2 cards next Saturday too. One from the UK. All right. Okay, then we get our first Friday card, the 15th. JoJo fighting Jesus Perez. Okay. Not bad. Then Oshaki. Wait a minute. They got Friday, February 15th. Then they got Friday, February 16th. Third. But I think Friday is the 16th, right? Today is the 2nd. Yeah. It's the Friday. Oshaki is fighting a couple Fridays away against Abraham Nova. Yeah. Yeah. So we got 2 Friday night fights coming up back to back. That's all right. Yeah, talent retention. That is so true, and says the issue with Top Rank seems to be talent retention. Yeah, they get those young guys. They got almost the whole entire last Olympic team over there. Almost. Yeah, they sure did. The Godfather almost signed all of them. But talent retention, that's the thing. Yeah, so we got a couple Friday fights coming up. We got Edgar coming up in like 3 weeks. Back in action. This will be his first action since he bit the guy, right, Edgar? Yeah, I believe it is. Andy Cruz on the card. 3 weeks, Andy Cruz coming up against Brian. Damarripa. Okay. I'm not even going. Some names I'm not even going to attempt. But Andy Cruz versus him is fighting him in 3 weeks. Andy back in action, 2-0. Of course, it's another 10-rounder. Andy came out the gate with 10. Remember? Yeah. And maybe when y'all think we're gonna get Andy and Keyshawn? 2025? Late 2024? Because Andy is on the fast track. He ain't got to handle 20, 25 fights before he ready for the big time. No. He like David Morrell. He got a title. David got a title. But he has 10 fights, but he's ready. So Andy is going to be like that. Get up around 9, 10 fights. He's going to be ready. Will Keyshawn be ready? That's the question. How many does Keyshawn have? Will this be his 10th fight next week? I'm not sure. Keyshawn will tell you in a minute. I only have 9 fights. Okay. There it is. That's the guy Andy's fighting. Like I say, y'all can pronounce it, because I can't. That's who Andy's fighting next. That's February 24th on the Edgar Berlanga card. That's not a bad card. Antonio Vargas is on that one, the other Vargas brother. That's the junior, right, Antonio? Yeah. Against Jonathan Rodriguez. I think that's the older one. Yeah. against Jonathan Rodriguez. So that's not a bad card. Wow. Wait a minute now. Yeah. Then we got Amanda Serrano. She got another 12-round fight. But it's for WBA, IBF, WBO, WBC not involved. She dropped that because of that reason. They wouldn't sanction the 12 3-minute rounds, so she dropped the WBC. But the IBF and the WBO and the WBA is. But for any other women's fights, they just go back to 10 2-minute rounds. So if the other three are doing it for Amanda, why how come they can't do it for the other women's fights? Like the last, what was it? Michaela Mayer and Natasha Jonas, that was just 10 2 minutes. Which was that? WBO? Oh, that might have been the WBC. But that's interesting, though. Yeah, that's interesting. So maybe the women are going to start getting. Of course, Jake put himself on the card too. But this time, before Jake was always the main event, he made Amanda the main event this time. Yeah. He made himself the co-main. His opponent is still to be announced. Jonathan Gonzalez on there. Where's WBO title? He has a WBO at junior flyweight. Jonathan, 108. He's on there. That 5 minimum weight fight last week was the first time I ever saw one of those fights down that low. That's the minimum weight, 105. Oscar Collazo. That was on the Natasha Jonas Michaela Mayer card. Yeah. Oscar kept his belt. Then we got, Joshua and Ngannou in March. I think Joshua will beat him. Yeah, I thought Michaela won too, Al Booger. I really did. Yeah, I do too, Ant. Jake is, a lot of people talk against him, but I like what Jake is doing. It's good for boxing. Yeah. Yeah. Jake is doing a good job. Well, time for me to make my move. Remember, Just Do Boxing Against Snakes. Then the Hangout. Jay Hardcore spins the block. He wasn't here, so he must have took a break on the way around the block. He's probably back going around the block again. He'll be back at 8. 8 plus 8 equals the Hangout. Then at 9 o'clock, the Rides podcast shuts it down for the day, for the JBT. Just Do Boxing. J Hardcore hashtag JBT. BN Boxing News. Miss Joette. Lonnie Lee hashtag JBT. Mike Rhyme. Al Booger. Attentive. Ant McQueen. Remo hashtag JBT. The mayor of YouTube, Thomas Hill, hashtag JBT. Mike Mason. And Miss Katz, hashtag JBT. It's Friday. I'll be back Monday. Gonna work on the show this weekend to see all the steps it takes to make a fight. That'll be one day next week. Appreciate my people for always riding with me. This is Cass Sports, 2 o'clock Shorty. Everybody have a great weekend. See y'all over at Just Do Boxing.